to use I guess a metaphor, that gave those that really wanted to turn our clock back. Those that recognized that the only thing that really helped to build a middle class and an upper middle class that we quite frankly now enjoy. The only thing that stood in the way of those with all the wealth and all the power, all the gold, those that wanted to turn this back to the beginning of the last century when a very few had everything and all the rest had virtually nothing. The only thing that stood in the way of those being able to do that and accomplish that was us and those like us, the labor movement. And in our case, our union, this AFFA. And they decided with the anger that was understood, the fear that you could see that was the result of this horrific economic crisis and collapse, gave them the stage, gave them a platform, gave them the ability to then be able to shift the focus away from hedge fund managers making hundreds of millions of dollars, paying themselves tens of millions of dollars just in bonuses. And Wall Street continuing to make money and pay bonuses at the expense of workers that provided them with their $700 billion worth of bailouts. As I already mentioned, the mortgage bankers getting bailed out to continue to make obscene money. All of this set the stage for them and those that represented their interest to lay the blame right at the feet of workers and our members. And they began to vilify them. Yes, all of you, all of those that serve in our proud profession, we understand that we are the recipients of a lot of goodwill in our community. Our reputations fairly well honed, and the admiration of neighborhoods and citizens always extended. All of that all of a sudden started to be tarnished. They began to look at us as the enemy. And they began to characterize us, and to do so successfully in some ways, as the haves, with so much of the rest of the population the have-nots. But these firefighters, in particular, and these public workers, and the teachers who are taking a big hit, that they're making the kind of salaries that one can't really justify. They've got all these retirement plans and these benefit packages that most of us, meaning citizens, don't get to enjoy. And at least in the States, by deliberate action, the ability of Wall Street and the financial market being able to destroy the retirement plans for private sector workers was able to take their pain, their loss, and to be able to mobilize that against us. And to suggest that we were out of step, out of tune, out of touch. And that these over-generous benefits that we enjoy, they're paying for. They don't get to have them, but they get to pay for them. This was all the mix that went into the midterms of last November in the States. And I'm not sure to the extent that that has really, hopefully not slopped over to any great extent here in Canada, but I do see the symptoms and the signs. And you look at some of the border cities where some of that, to me, looks too familiar. And I'm trying to make, if you will, the connection with what's happening yesterday, and what they've been watching in the States over these last many months. Does it begin to give those an opportunity for you to be the next set of crosshairs. I know that we couldn't have imagined January, when we began our work going forward this year, as I said, that we were going to be doing anything other than trying to protect our retirement plans. That was going to be our goal. I mean, this is going to be our work. They're trying to destroy our members' retirement, and we have got to put every effort into making sure we protect them. Nowhere could we have imagined that we would be literally fighting for our very survival. Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida. I mean, it's an incredible number of states. Coordinated? You bet your ass coordinated. Because they knew we're going to take a three-pronged approach to this. We're going to go after them and take away their bargaining rights where they enjoy them. That'll keep them busy. That'll keep them fighting and focused. And while we're doing that, we're going to pass a law in 15 states, as we speak today, that they call paycheck protection, which is nothing less than deception and the ability to take us out and our voice out of the political arena. They know that's where our potential strength is. So if they can get us focused on scrambling and fighting to retain our bargaining rights while they strip us of our ability to play in that very arena that makes the decisions on who's going to end up having the power and the authority to make these decisions, they got the best of both worlds. And then the third leg, as extraordinary and as petty as it sounds, and I know a lot of this sounds foreign to you. I don't mean foreign in the foreign sense. I mean, it's like, Jesus, what is he railing about? Let me tell you, all of this came about because of one election. One election changed all this. Not years and years of development, strategy, structure, proposals, an election. And so they just decided, why don't we completely cripple them and we'll take their ability to deduct their dues away from them. Now, how petty is that? But you think about how effective is that. Think about your own affiliates. If you woke up one morning and you had to run around like they did 50 years ago, collecting your monthly dues from every single member, because you didn't have the ability to simply be able to be resourced. This is a strategy that's evil, it's mean, spirited, but it's so dangerous. And that's what we have been fighting back now, these last many months. Our Fighting Back campaign, I'm sure you've been following, and I won't drag you through every aspect of it. But it has every strategy that we can develop and that we can deploy. We're working in that political arena where we have local elections that continue to exist. We're working to change the message, if you will, and the language out there in the press. We understand the power of the media. We're understanding, even an old cuss like me understands the power of the social media. It's not a joke anymore. It's toppled governments across the globe. And it has the power to galvanize our members, and we see that. And it's where our younger members understand that's where they want to get their information and how they want to get their information. Yeah, we like your magazine, it's fine, but I don't want to wait 2 months. I want to know what's happening an hour ago. I want to know what's happening right now. I want to know where the fight is, where the battle is, what can I do? And so we've been pulling together every resource that we can, and using the media, and using Facebook, and yes, tweeting. I don't, but we are. And it is tongue-in-cheek, but I cannot tell you how many fans and followers we have now, our members. I mean, tens of thousands. And so we know that it's not that we're striking a chord, it's that we are better understanding how we can use these social resources media resources to be able to move a membership and to get them to respond. And to more importantly, have them understand what's at stake. I'm going to guess that, you know, I can let know if I got Ohio here and they're stripping SB5. I'm not going to drag you through that. And Florida, of all places, we've got 28,000 members in Florida. They're not taking their collective bargaining away. They're just taking their dues away because they know if they can take their dues away, they can absolutely just kill our unions in Florida. It's that simple. There'll be no way to effectively exist. Effectively. Oklahoma, good news. We won one last week. Their collective bargaining was defeated, and primarily by our members and our affiliates and our leadership. And I can say that with good conscience. And it looks like Florida that we are on the verge of winning. I do not want to jinx them, but we were able to kill 3 of their most draconian proposals. There's one left. There's a week and a half to go in their session, so it looks like that we may have a second win there. In New Hampshire, we've been able to at least dodge a bullet for a year. Now, I'm giving you these, I hope not to drag you and wear you out. I am simply trying to make sure that all of our leadership across this great international understands the seriousness of these attacks, and they are not unique to, like, Alabama or Mississippi. That you can wake up like they did in Rhode Island with incredibly strong binding arbitration and collective bargaining, and they've got all 4 of these proposals introduced in their legislature. Now, we have a governor that will veto it, and we have a state senate that will never pass it. That's the good news. But the bad news is that they're even willing to introduce it in a state like that. Keep us busy, keep us on our toes, keep us focused, keep us expending our resources, stretch us, spread us as much as they can. That's why I'm laying this out.